This is Paul. Yes. And the seagulls are really loud this morning. Yes. I noticed that yesterday when I was sitting here explaining to you about my rights being violated. That sometimes seagulls make a large amount of noise and I don't really know what causes it. When you sit here every day, year after year, explaining that the issuance of court orders, where there's no actual signature of the petitioner, and I wasn't given any due process. And I can hear how the seagulls all of a sudden they just start talking. Yeah. It's something that you realize when you sit at the same location year after year explaining why it's a crime to issue court orders where my sons were taken from me. Yes. See, in July 8th of 2011, when I wasn't a resident of Washington State, he issued a protection order where I was not given any notice or opportunity to be heard, Coach. And I was living on Guam at that time, going through diversion, yes, where I did 7 hours of parenting classes because Heidi made up a story on July 2nd of 2011 where she bought 7 plane tickets, called the police on me, and moved to Clallam County. And as a father, you didn't think that you had to protect my rights. Ooh. Now today, I'm wanting to know where my sons are at. Now, I noticed that when I was testing this phone, yes, I put it to my right ear to listen to it. When I was a stockbroker, we would use the telephone and I would call clients and quite possibly potential clients. I didn't do a lot of cold calling. It's kind of one of these things where calling a stranger is a difficult thing to do. As a profession, it's difficult because they don't know you. But let's say you got on the phone today and I haven't gotten any phone calls. Marilyn hasn't called me. Yes. My sons haven't called me. Poach. The FBI hasn't called me. Yeah. And the police and sheriff's departments haven't called me. Pooch. After 1,800,000 emails, it seems like somebody has call reluctance. Yes. That's what they call it in the profession, Coach. Where when you pick up that phone, you usually put it on your right ear. Yes. Now, I used to walk around with my head kind of tilted to the right. Yes. A lot of people thought, well, maybe he has a spinal injury or something because I myself noticed that my head was not straight up and down. It was tilted, as if I had spent years on the telephone calling those individuals that I wanted to speak to about the various reasons for the phone call. I'll give you an example. Let's say you wanted me to call the police department. I'm not calling the police department. I'm not calling the sheriff's department. I'm not calling anyone. You're going to have to pick up the phone and call me. Now, I keep putting this in those emails. Call me 509-599-1988, and I haven't gotten any phone calls. And I'm kind of thinking this whole concept of altering the personality of an individual because of the involuntary medicating of the person for crimes they did not commit. Yes, it would have been nice if somebody had realized the importance of the telephone call. Now, most people, they keep the receiver on the right ear. Pooch, for some reason, well, it's kind of that way, isn't it? Right hand, right ear, left hand, left ear. Now, maybe you'd like to pick up the phone today because I'd like to know where my missing sons are that were taken from me without any due process in 2011. Could you get me the telephone here? Could you? Now, as a financial consultant, I spent a lot of time on the telephone, and my thought was, well, I should always have a smile on my face when calling those that I want to have business with. Yes. You ever picked up the phone and on the other end of the line you could see that the person was really scowling. They were very upset about having to make this phone call and seemed like they were angry on the phone for whatever reason. But I really thought that people were much more willing, yes, to purchase the product. If I had a smile on my face and I was happy today and all I wanted to do was sell you something so I can make a large amount of money because